Morning. It is mid-September. You're getting a mid-September garden tour this month instead of two because September means a lot of work in the garden, lots of flipping beds, lots of harvest, obviously, lots of processing. So this is my the first chance that I've gotten to shoot a video. So come take a look. We had some friends over and their little boy described this as the alley of beauty, I believe is what he said. The zinnias are incredible right now. This is what, these were planted clear in May so that we could have this for just a little while in August and September. The main vegetable garden is looking both wild and a little bit tired. So we are going to get a lot of rain, gratefully, this weekend. And so I have harvested everything that's even close. So there's not much ripe produce right now in the garden because I harvested it all yesterday. There's still a little bit. I'm gonna go through one more sweep before it starts raining. Over here, the Tulsi, I have been able to harvest one time so far. It's drying. Hopefully I will get a few more harvests off that. The tomatillas, I have harvested a few. It looks like there might be some more that are ready, and the sun-gold tomatoes, they do have, there's one single sun-gold tomato. It's not ripe. How disappointing. Oh wow. But there are a few more. This plant right here is the volunteer tomato. It has fruit on it. We'll see if any of them ripen. And the other two sun-golds that are right there and right there have flowers on them but no fruit yet. So as a reminder, these were started from seed and these were started from clippings that I rooted within days of each other. So it seems like the rooted ones do have a little bit of a head start. Some of the kale got attacked by something and the chickens happily made short work of that. So there are some blank spaces in here. I will harvest the kale to freeze, but it's not urgent and I have a lot of other things going on right now. This sunflower, look at this sunflower. Let me back up. This was a volunteer. Isn't she fun? In this bed, we have kind of you can't tell on the camera unless I come to this side, we have kind of a situation. The cranberry beans, which did nothing all spring, have suddenly taken off and they are pulling their trellis down. So it is secured up with a stake, but I'm gonna need to secure it from the other side. It was only secured from one side. So, and who knows if I'm going to actually get many cranberry beans off of there. They're flowering. I harvested some that were early, like that developed in the spring and then just sort of sat there, but like a handful. So I really have just been waiting to see what happens. And yeah, well, I'll let you know. But so far, this beautiful bean vine has not produced much of anything. And then there's just more kale in here. This celery right here, another gardener, I was in another gardener's garden, and he handed me just the base. He had harvested it, and then he'd taken the base out, and he said, here, stick this in a wet place in your garden. And this place was empty, and it's right next to the irrigation line. And so I stuck it in there, and look what it grew. I mean, celery does not tolerate frost at all, so I'll harvest it just before we have a frost. But how fun is that? I've never done that before. I've always grown celery from seed or from start, and it takes a really long time to grow. But if you grow it from, I guess maybe it would be a crown, I don't know, it grows much faster, which of course makes sense, but I've never done it before. More of the cranberry beans climbing up these dead sunflower stalks, which makes them look crazy and wild. There's also fennel mixed in with there that I've been harvesting the tops just for flowers. They make me so happy. Fennel flowers they're just so pretty. The potatoes are ready to harvest. I'm just leaving them there because so they look pretty dead, which is a good indication that they're ready to harvest. I'm just leaving them there because I don't have time to process them to harvest them right now. The squash is starting to look a little sad. It is that time of year, and powdery mildew has taken over most of my patty pan, which is fine. I have harvested probably well over 100 pounds of patty pan from these 6 plants. And there's still a little bit more on here. I'll get a few more, but I have plenty in my freezer. The zucchini, however, are still looking as weird. I mean, they still look weird from the heat wave, but they have not been infected with powdery mildew and are still producing zucchini. So here's another fennel flower. I just love them. They're so pretty. Okay, tomatoes. So the pruning has done its job. There is a little bit of sickness in this German pink, just sort of struggled all year long, and it had blossom end rot, and I don't know what was wrong with it, but the rest of them are still looking healthy. I'm still needing to prune out a ton of suckers, and look at that one. Look up there, clear up. That's like, it's got to be 10 feet high. It's crazy. Still a lot of green fruit and a lot of tomatoes to pick. You'll notice there's no ripe fruit on here. I came through and picked everything that was even blushing. There's a couple of cherry tomatoes. Look at this basil. Look how tall it is. It's like well past my waist. Over here, this purple basil has been harvested quite a bit. It's so pretty. And then there's some cucumbers tucked in there that have that remind me of why I don't grow cucumbers. Oh, look, there's a watermelon right there. We'll see. I just harvested my first watermelon. Oh, there's another one. We'll see if we get any more. Those are sugar babies. They're supposed to be small like that. Yeah, we'll see if we get any more watermelon. That would be exciting. Okay, an update on the loofah. It has now flowered multiple times. You can see right there and right there. There are flowers. Oh, there's another one up right there. Sorry, I can see them in person and then hard to find them through the viewfinder. So it's gotten big just in the last little while, and I'm hopeful that I'll get at least some small loofahs. We still have about about a month, maybe a little bit more till our average first frost. I am hopeful. Even if they're small, I'll be excited to get a loofah. The chocolate sunflowers are fading. They still have, I mean, the later ones are not that deep red color. They kind of fade into this pretty orange. The bean patch is looking very sad because they've all been harvested. So we harvested all the dried black beans There was about, in their shell, there's about 6 gallons. It was quite a bit. I don't know what that's going to mean in terms of pounds of beans, but we're looking forward to finding out. Over here we have radishes coming up. These are all brassicas in here. This is Napa cabbage, and then over here there's a couple of different types of broccoli in here. These bigger ones are the earlier ones, and then the smaller ones are the ones that just have been in the ground for a short period of time. And the arch is looking beautiful and lovely. Look at that. Look, there's more fennel. I grew, these are bulb fennel, and I grew them for the bulb, and they just didn't bulb up correctly. I don't know why. I don't know if they didn't get enough water. I'll have to read about better conditions, but having the fennel flowers is making me extremely happy, and I've been eating the fennel all summer long. So the cayenne has given me quite a few peppers. I think I've picked them all. Yep, looks like they're all off right now, so it may be done. I may try and overwinter that cayenne. We'll see, we'll see. In this bed, there's cilantro planted right in there. I don't know, you probably can't see it coming up, but it is coming up. And then the eggplant is doing great. There's still a couple of eggplants on here, little ones, that weren't quite ready to harvest. Even this one could probably come off, but I did harvest the big watermelon. We ate it. I would say that it was maybe a week later. I was trying to be so careful. I didn't want to pick it early, but it was maybe a little bit late. It was still delicious, and we ate it. And the noodle beans are starting to come on. We haven't eaten any yet. I have some that I'm going to add to like a stir fry or sauteed vegetables this week. This cucumber is the yard-long cucumber. I know you're probably sick of hearing me say it's gonna forever have a place in my garden. Just so good. And it's still producing cucumbers where all the other cucumbers have pretty much given up. The Malabar spinach, which we've discovered we don't really care for eating, at least I haven't found a way that I cared for it or my family. But it's worth growing just because it's beautiful. The winter squash patch is overgrown and fun and hysterical, and there are so many squash in here. There's one, several little ones. There's a lot of squash in there. It'll be exciting to see what we produce from, I believe there were 9 plants in there, plus 3 more over here between, and I think it was just spaghetti and patty pan. The peppers are looking sad, but that's okay because they are producing peppers like crazy. In fact, even though I just harvested them a couple days ago, it looks like there's one right there that I'm gonna need to come out and do it again today. So look at these, look at all of those sweet orange peppers. And an update on John Henry's messy pumpkin patch. He has kept it down to 4 pumpkins, and they definitely need to be fertilized again, but they are growing, and he still has about 6 weeks of growing time. So hopefully they'll get a little bit bigger. They're quite big already. I know it's hard to tell, but that's a good size. That's a good size pumpkin right there. They're all about the same size. I wanted to show you these beds, particularly the nasturtium as it's cooled off. Oh, that poor dahlia needs to be deadheaded. But the nasturtium is just flowering. It's hard out. And the petunias are really, the late petunias that I put in are looking great. These are the petunias that are pretty much spent, and the pink ones were the ones that I put in later that have really taken off. So I wanted to show you one last thing is this mum. I've had it for years and years. My friend Emily gave it to me when she moved away, and it has always it always makes me happy when it blooms. And the rest of the time it just lives as a pretty green bush. But yes, I love mums. So this time of year is always, I love seeing them all over the place. But that's pretty much it for this garden tour. A little bit short, a little bit abbreviated, because I have so much to do and it's just how it is. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.